Getting YouTube going here. Hey, YouTube, you're always first. As always, Cave Crew Radio is going to be going live in just a few seconds. So stand by with us here. And here we go. Why is it taking so long? Here we go.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundaries. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gonna go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's a power play goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm here. Welcome to Cave Crew Radio, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK, live from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, inside of my cave. I was just taking a knee during our theme song, and we'll get over to that in a little bit. Other than that, my dog got sprayed by a skunk this week. It was kind of a nightmare. Always happens at the most inappropriate times. But other than that, I'm going to get things moving along here. And I'm going to think I hear Queens, hopefully without any static. Let's see if he's got it working.
Do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, nice. See, I was able, at the last minute, I was able to use my regular mic and switch a cable.
You're the heavy metal guy. You know everything about wiring. And
well, I did wire this studio.
So you know the ins and outs.
I do, and I think I have to tear it apart to replace one of the cables. But anyway, I digress. Live from Queens, New York. I am Sir Big B. And yes, while you were taking a knee, I was virtually locking arms with Choo Choo Stu in solidarity. When is it safe to fucking stand for the national anthem again?
Let's.
And I know we'll talk about that later, but let's my question for later. When is it safe to stand for the national anthem?
Yes, we will discuss that. I'm sure we'll lose many listeners, but that's okay.
That's fine with me. It's the listeners. It's the little snowflake listeners.
Yeah, I've probably unfriended about 30 people in the past week,
and you're better off for it.
Exactly. I can't handle their bullshit.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But in the meantime, like I said, I was virtually locking arms with Choo Choo Stu during the intro. So with that, I do believe I hear London calling.
Hello?
Are you there?
Indeed, this is Choo Choo Stu calling live from London, England. Hello, gentlemen.
Now you weren't taking a knee during your well, that's not your national anthem, but
No, but I can't. I'm sorry, DK. I have to at least sit. I just don't get these people. I don't get these people. I'll have a quick rant. If they don't want to stand, then piss off somewhere. I don't know. Don't play for the team, that basically represents the United States. They're playing for a United States or for a team that's in the United States. Then they got to stand for their flag, man, for their national anthem. It's disrespectful any other way.
I hear you, and you speaking of that as an Englishman, myself as a Canadian, very proud to hear American hockey players saying, there is no way, Austin Matthews says, there is no way I will kneel during a national anthem. And we're going to turn it to the American in the group from New York, but just my personal opinion with you, Stu, is I don't understand. I don't understand what you're trying to prove other than gather attention. It's not accomplishing anything. Has anything changed? And does Colin Kaepernick have a job yet? No. Fucking frohead bastard. Anyway, over to you, Big B. You're the one who's in the thick of all this shit.
Right. So first of all, the saddest part of this whole, I don't know if it's sad or awful or any negative way I could describe this. This past Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers stayed in their locker room during the national anthem, except for one guy who was a military vet, served 2 tours in Iraq. He's like a lineman. He came out, stood in the tunnel.
Was it 4 tours? I think he did 4 tours.
Oh, 4 tours. Okay, my mistake. 4 tours in Iraq. He came out, stood outside the tunnel, hand over his heart, and during the national anthem. He had to apologize for doing that because he embarrassed his team. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy risked his life in Iraq for this country. Yeah. He can stand there with his hand over his fucking heart whenever he wants. He doesn't have to fucking apologize to anybody. This is fucking ridiculous. And the big thing about this kneeling bullshit. Now, one, my take on this is I don't give a shit if you stand, sit, kneel, lay down, jerk off. I don't give a fuck what you do during the national anthem, because singing a national anthem before a sports game, before a sporting event, to me has always been, why are we doing this? This isn't like, this isn't 2 armies going in. You're watching a fucking game. We don't need the national anthem sung before every fucking game. It's not the most patriotic thing on the planet, in sports. But anyway, if you're going to have the national anthem there, yes, you stand for it. What they're doing is they're kneeling for police brutality or brutality against minorities and all of this bullshit. But they won't stand up against all the people that get arrested, all their colleagues in the NFL that get arrested for either Adrian Peterson for child abuse, however many, the line is long for those for domestic abuse with either their wives or their girlfriends, who's getting arrested for drugs, who's getting arrested for fucking killing people, and so on. I mean, the NFL, everybody does call it the National Felon League, but yet they're going to kneel for police brutality. Yes, a bunch of felons are kneeling because they're perceived to be abused by the police. But yet they will not talk out against any of their teammates or colleagues on other teams that abuse their wives or girlfriends and go to jail. They're all, oh, well, give him a second chance. He's a good boy. The same bullshit you hear when fucking Leroy down the street gets arrested for killing 9 people and his mother goes on TV. He's a good boy. He would never do anything like that. Get the fuck out of here. It's all fucking hypocrisy, started by Colin Kaepernick, and in what I believe is more orchestrated by Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend, only because he wasn't the starting quarterback anymore. he decided to kneel during it. Wasn't even the first pregame of the season. It was like the second or third, just to gather attention for himself.
I agree. And listen, I was talking to Stu before you jumped on, and I said, what are they teaching the children? Because any sports, when you're in sports, it doesn't matter if it's football or whatever it is across the globe. You're a role model, and you know, if you're going to stand up for something, there's other ways of doing it. This to me is childish. The shit I'm reading on Facebook and Twitter and in the news, we spend. You know what we need to do once we're done here with it in a few minutes is don't give them any more publicity. They don't deserve it.
But that's the first thing. I was like all Sunday I was watching football, watching NFL Red Zone and all that. And at night, you know, or the next day, when you have the highlight shows, that's the first thing they lead with before every highlight. Well, they were locking arms and they were kneeling and they didn't come out of the tunnel and all. Before every fucking highlight of every fucking game, they're talking about this.
Yeah, and you're there to win a championship, right? I mean, people go to watch a football game. I think it was Detroit. Actually, it was the Lions game against the Falcons, and the fucking guy singing the national anthem was on his knees. Like the only thing you go on
there's nothing.
Fucking cock. That's it.
Yeah,
it's fucking ridiculous, and the hypocrisy is just.
Whoever that fucker was singing the national anthem on his knees should have been fucking dragged out there and beaten. I'm sorry.
You know, you want to be on your knees, then
it's just fucking. It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Go to Afghanistan and take some shrapnel. Then you'll be on your knees all day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
fucking bleeding heart people drive me crazy.
It's ridiculous. So
you should see the memes and stuff that these people are putting up again on social media, attacking us. I wasn't a cop. I'm not a cop. I'm not an owner of a farm in the land of Dixie.
My favorite thing is, and of course this comes from the Huffington Post, a liberal, ultra liberal website, and of course liberals look for racism in anything they can because that's their fallback to any argument is racism. There was an article in the Huffington Post that said white players who still stand for the national anthem are standing for white supremacy.
Yeah,
bullshit.
Of course
are you fucking kidding me? That just blew my mind that and of course it was a white guy that wrote this. I saw who wrote it. It's a fucking guilty white leftist liberal fucking asshole who wrote this. White people are standing for whites. Shut the fuck up. Everything with fucking liberals is racism. Stop it. There's a reason why you fucking lost the election. Nobody wants to hear your bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you're going to lose the election in 4 fucking years. Because you're just continuing with the same bullshit that nobody wants to listen to. You look for race in every fucking thing. He picked up a knife. He picked up a butter knife to cut his bread. Well, that's white bread. That's racism. What?
Yeah.
Fucking stop.
Yeah. It's your bar black sheep. All over.
Oh my God. Every fucking thing is racism. Stop it.
But it is. It's the same here. It's the same here, Big B. It's everything is linked. Everything has got a link, and everything is linked to until we all just say, look, we're really sorry, and we crawl around on our knees all day with a big banner saying sorry, we're white, and then I don't know. That's what maybe they want.
I get along. I get along with everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So do
I. But they have to because we just get along with people because they're people, and it doesn't matter what color they are, where they're from. You take the good, bad, and the ugly, and everything's got to come down to race the whole time. I can't switch on the radio. If I switch on my London radio here, I usually count 20 backwards. And if they haven't mentioned black, racism, Muslim, or something along those lines, then there's something terribly wrong with that radio station. And by that 20-second mark, I turn it off and tune to another station normally.
And listen, and I'm, again, not trying to get into religion or anything. The first thing they take out of the school is the Lord's Prayer. The second thing they take, then they're allowing Mounties, which is our Royal Canadian Police. You don't have to wear the uniform. You can wear a no. You can wear the look. I have to wear a certain dress code when I go to work. If I like heavy metal, I can't show up in ripped jeans and unshaven and you know, a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. It's a policy. When in Rome, wherever you are, you do what you do. It drives me crazy. It's not just the kneeling, it's everything. The next thing they're going to do is we won't play the national anthems in the schools anymore. And then you wonder why our kids are dysfunctional.
Mate, we used to have hymn time, and every morning you'd have a school assembly in our primary school, which is up to about 11-year-olds. And traditionally, you'd have a teacher there in the corner playing the piano. They'd do a couple of hymns or something like that. And when I was at primary school, it was a particularly good music teacher who was a little bit rock and roll, let's say, and he made every hymn rock and roll, and he put his own touch to it, and it was fun. And okay, he was learning a bit about Christianity or whatever, singing the hymns and stuff like that. But that's totally all gone now. It's just vanished.
Yeah, because you have to be all inclusive of all religions, and you don't want to make anybody feel bad because then they have to get comfort dogs and go to their safe space.
Yeah, but now
it comes back again. When in Rome is my favorite saying. You came here, be it Canada, England, the United States. You fled somewhere, or you came here for a better life. And yes, we have problems. Yes, we have things to fix. There are processes in place to fix those things, but there's always the option. And I don't see anybody leaving and going back. And maybe that's the solution. Go leave.
You know, you don't like it. You don't play football. Don't play basketball. Go do something else. Go to another country. Don't sit there and fucking make it all about you. Yeah. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. Go do something else then. If you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Yeah. And they'll probably shoot you if you don't stand for their national anthem.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you'd be executed.
It's amazing to me I mean, when Trump was talking about building the wall, oh my God, you can't have a fucking wall. It's racism to have a wall. And on the other side of Mexico, there's a wall between Mexico and I forget the other country on the other side of it. There's walls all around as borders in every other fucking country on the planet. But if we build a wall on our southern border, God forbid, it's racism. Again, going back to the liberals find racism and everything. It started with the Confederate flag is racist. We have to burn it and can't show it anywhere on the planet. Oh, statues are now racist. Now it's the American flag is racist. What's going to be? I'm waiting to see what's next. Mm-hmm. And the only people that are agree with this are other liberals. And guess what? You fucking lost. You lost last year. You're going to lose again in 4 years because you're not winning anybody over with everything is racist.
No,
I'm sorry. The entire middle America is not going to agree with you. Then you can't find race in every little thing and make people feel guilty or try to make them feel guilty and say they're worthless and they're racist and they owe reparations and all this bullshit and expect to win a fucking election. If nobody wants to listen to your little whiny bullshit, they certainly don't want to listen to it from a fucking politician.
I hear you. All right, let's end it at that because we could yell and scream all night, but people came here to laugh. And I do think well, you guys make me laugh no matter what you do, but Baba Black Sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
Don't be racist now.
No, I'm talking about a fucking lamb that I'm going to eat for dinner tomorrow night.
Don't be racist. You're being racist. You said black sheep.
I've already told you. See, now you're going to get me going. And we got these people that are fleeing from Syria, and they come to the country and they complain about our food banks. The food's not right that you're serving, that you're giving us for free.
No, it's just ridiculous.
I don't like my English teacher who's teaching me how to speak the language of this country.
That's crazy.
Fuck off. Go home. I mean, we welcome you with open doors. Don't get me wrong. There's some really nice, hardworking people that I've met, and I apologize if I'm insulting them. But they come here, they work, and again, I'm going to say it. They're when in Rome. They embrace what they have here and there and in England. You embrace it. It's freedom.
It's called assimilating to the culture you are currently in.
Right. And the freedom of speech is an awesome thing. It's what we're doing right now, and it's what they do. But don't get carried away. We've got enemies, and the enemies are not within our own country. Or our own NAFTA or United Nations or whatever it is. Anyway, what's everybody else been up to? I don't have time to go to the allotment yet because we're heading into break. But Big B, you had to cancel the Metal Thunder Radio this week. Were we in long bus rides again? What the fuck's going on?
God. I was sitting there actually. Just got into bed, and I was looking for the tweets, and I was thinking, what's happened? There's no Metal Thunder Radio tweets.
Yeah, I was. So I'm sitting on my bus, and
it's your bus. You bleeding heart liberal.
I'm sorry.
I said it's your bus now.
Oh yes. Sorry. Sitting on the bus.
Pay your taxes, you bastard.
You should have stood and let someone else sit down.
Yeah, we should all stand when we're supposed to be sitting.
And I was sitting in the back of the bus. Is that okay? I know, it used to be the back of the bus was for the black people.
Yeah.
But
as long as there was no ethnic minority standing.
So I'm on the bus, and we head down. We go up 6th Avenue and make a right down 57th Street, and down like 5 or 6 blocks is the bridge where I go over to leave Manhattan to go into Queens. I guess Trump was in town on Tuesday. I had no idea. So we're going up 6th Avenue. We turn down 57th Street, and there's always traffic down 57th Street anyway because Trump Towers is right there. All right, we're moving slowly. Not a big deal. We'll get home eventually. All of a sudden, I close my eyes, and I wake up what seems like, an hour later. It wasn't an hour later, but what seems like an hour later to look up, and I'm looking directly at the entrance to the bridge, which is now closed off. They closed the entire bridge.
Your wife wants to come to Canada, by the way.
Yes, she does. She wants to go anywhere but this city.
And
so we go.
Well, you're looking for a place, and I'm telling you, you'll find much cheaper housing here,
but higher taxes.
Well, yeah, but it's worth it. Our road, you don't sink into a volcano when you're driving down the freeway.
It may be worth it. So we go past the bridge, right? We go to the corner. Now, on the corner, there are cops everywhere, sealed off every street. Nobody's moving anywhere. We sat there for like a half an hour. Finally, the cop, I don't see any convoy of any, whether it was Trump or another politician or some, there's no convoy anywhere. Just suddenly the cops leave after half an hour. The traffic cops that are remaining direct all traffic to make a left. And then all traffic to make another left on the next block up or 2 blocks down. Which, of course, now everybody's all backed up. So now everybody's trying to fit in these 2 left turns. And that was another 45 minutes just to get out of the fucking city. It took 3 hours and was it 3.5, like 3 hours and 15, 3.5 hours to get home.
What's that, is that an hour bus ride?
I would
an hour
stab
bus ride.
myself with a fork.
Huh?
I would stab myself with a fork if I had that.
Oh my God. And the funny thing is, my wife was on the bus right before me because she gets out of work before me. She was on the bus right before me, and she made it over the bridge, no problem. Apparently, they closed it shortly after her bus made it over the bridge.
Have you not got Brompton cycles over there?
Say that again?
Brompton cycles, the fold-up bikes.
I guess now, not only do they have half a Christmas tree, Big B, they have bikes that fold into two.
I've seen those. I've seen people carry those on the subway.
Yeah, the Brompton cycle made here in the UK is, I believe, quite a famous bike. But you just more or less just folds up into a bag, and then I think you need to be taking one of those with you. We need to do a GoFundMe or whatever it is for Big B to get a Brompton cycle, so he could. It probably only take you half an hour from the bridge.
Big B still has a damaged what is a pulled groin.
Yeah, it might do his groin. It would do his groin good, I think.
It actually might. Cycling might actually do my groin well, and it might be a good idea to get one of those bikes and just carry it like a backpack with me. As the bus is just sitting there in traffic because some other asshole
how can you wait on a bus on a journey that takes you an hour, wait 3 hours? It's just like, do you not just want to start walking or something?
Well, again, like we talked about last week, it's like 20 miles. Like I can't, that's far to walk. That's crazy to walk.
Just think what shape you would be in.
Oh yeah, I'd be in great shape, but it'd also take me 9 days to get home.
Yeah, 20 miles.
We have to send Big B a Fitbit. We need to get Big B a Fitbit.
So yes. So I was texting with the two other guys I do the show with, like around 8:30. I'm still on 61st and First Avenue, just sitting there trying to make it back onto the bridge. And I'm like, you guys can come by. My wife will let you in, and you can set up. But I don't know what time I'm going to be there. Maybe you want to cancel or whatnot. And we all just agreed to say, fuck it, we'll do it next week. By the time I got home at like 9:30, by the time I, settled in, and DK, obviously both of you know, when you get home from work, you can't just rush and go do a radio show or whatever. You got to see the kids and all that, and have something to eat and whatnot. And so by the time I got all of that done, it was 10:15. It was fuck it. I'm glad we canceled.
And then before you know it, you're back on the bus.
Right, the next day. Yeah,
And I bet it never closes on your way to work, does it?
No, on the way in, every day is fine. It's always at night.
Of course, it's when you want to get home.
Yeah, I never have a problem getting in.
Can you not get the subway home?
There is one train by me, but they are working on the track, so part of the route is closed because they're working on the tracks. And that particular day, my wife was actually on the train initially to go home. Some drunk asshole, and Stu, you probably are very familiar with this. Some drunk asshole fell in between the train cars on the route. I don't think he died. I think it was while it was still in the station. But obviously, all the cops came and all of this. So that delayed everything. So she had to hop off the train and hop on the bus to get home. So I would have been fucked either way.
Yeah, I think the sooner we all get out of these cities, the better.
I agree 100%.
All right, guys, let's take a quick break. Everybody do what you got to do. Real fast break. When we return, folks, we do have a report from the allotment. I know people have been driving us crazy But Stu does have a few stories from the allotment elections. Hopefully an update on our plot, Big B. Also, we have some celebrity deaths to talk about. One that hits very close to us, and we'll talk about that later. And Big B obviously is missing Florida stories because we have some of them as well. So let's take a real quick break. Just a quick little commercial. We won't take a lot of time tonight. You're listening to Cave Crew Radio live every Thursday right here on cavecrewradio.com. And here is Stu telling us where else you can find us.
Well, hello, ladies and the gentlemen, and cave dwellers in general. This is Choo Choo Stu, and I'm deep in the hallows of London, England. I want you lot to stop taking a piss and join the Cave Crew Radio Facebook group, please. And while you're at it, look us up on the Twitter as well. It's not rocket science, it's actually quite easy. Just search Cave Crew Radio. Also, have you got a bit of spare change in your wallet or your bank? Because we could do with $5. It's easy on PayPal. Just go on to cavecrewradio.com and chuck some money in the tip jar. It helps keeping the dream alive, sockcuckers. So don't be silly and take the mic. Cavecrewradio.com. Fuckers.
A little message brought to you by our own Choo Choo Stu. Now, I'm having some technical difficulties of my own here, but I'm going to try and load something here. Okay, I got it. Good. Starting to work again. See, you're patient enough, things work for you. All right, folks, here's what's going on. Cue the news music for me here. All right, so okay, don't play it over me. Here we go. So today we did find out that Hugh Hefner has passed away. The Playboy guy.
Well, they were talking about him on our radio in London today, and how I wanted to phone up, but they had him down as a paedophile, basically, on London radio. Well, if he was doing what he was doing from a house in London, he would have been arrested many, many years ago.
I believe all those women were of age, but I mean, everyone's a pedophile when they die.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you die, you're a bad guy.
Yeah. I think that's the first time Hugh Hefner and pedophilia was ever in the same sentence. Yeah. Nobody ever once accused Hugh Hefner of being a pedophile.
I mean, those women were all very well developed, from what I remember.
They had him down forever. I didn't listen for too long, to be honest, but it was like, yeah, this guy, if he was in doing what he was doing from a place in London, in a 3-bedroom semi-detached house, then the curtains would have been twitching, and basically he'd have been arrested for what he was doing. But because he's a famous guy, a multi-millionaire, then it's all okay. It's like pat him on the back and let him get on with it.
I don't think he was a pedophile. Stu, do you know who he was?
Of course I know who he was. Yeah.
I don't.
And didn't every man really envy that fella? I mean, he was.
Every person did.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you'd have to be stupid, wouldn't you? And the girls went there. They got a bit of fame out of it, I suppose. And there was a guy who phoned up whose daughter was involved with him somehow or along the line, and I don't know. And all he done was pat the guy on the back. Said, yeah, it was great, fantastic, helped my daughter out, and I'm sure that's everyone was a winner. I'm sure no one come out of there in tears, really.
Just remember how much money those daughters made.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, here's the guy. I don't know about anybody else, but I think we're all, close to the same age. Back in the day, before the internet, before all this other stuff that we could do with Google and Pornhub and all this stuff, there was that magazine that Dad kept hidden, in a special spot
in the shed. Yeah,
and we'd grab a copy of it, and we'd all go to the park together, and we would look, at the naked. And it wasn't too extravagant. It wasn't like Penthouse or Hustler or any of those other magazines. I always thought Playboy was rather clean.
It was very tight, really.
Well, when they decided to take the nudity out, I thought it was very strange.
I mean, I've looked at that magazine for years and years, but it was what I remember. It was fairly tame compared to what else is on the market.
As I got older, I used to enjoy the articles. I thought they had some excellent articles in that magazine, and also the cartoons were hilarious.
They did articles.
Yeah. Oh,
Stu never noticed those.
Well, they're fucking recipes or something. Right.
Is your wife still wearing a chastity belt? Like, do you ever see a naked woman, Stu? You're constantly chasing women on Skype and oh my God, Stu. It wasn't not Big B. It was actually some very big featured articles were written in Playboy.
They really were. And you're right. They were well written articles too. There's some good writers who actually did work for Playboy, and a lot of the interview pieces got national attention. Because they were very well done. Some editorial pieces too. I mean, it did evolve. I mean, obviously, it started off and it always was a titty magazine. But yeah, it did evolve itself to where it was. They did have legitimate stories in it.
But if it's possible to be classy as a titty magazine,
is it still running? By the way,
yeah,
I haven't read a magazine, Stu, in probably 10 years. I get everything on the.
I mean, I'll probably go and buy the edition, to celebrate Hugh's life or something, just to have a look. But I must admit, I've never brought it in my life.
I'm sure the next edition of Playboy, whenever it comes out, is going to be a huge retrospective of Hugh Hefner and the history of Playboy.
Yeah, it'd be a
huge best.
Good
definitely be a collector's item.
Yeah.
Anyway, God bless you. I don't know if he was.
God bless you. Yeah.
I don't know if he was a pedophile or not, but
I would say he wasn't.
I'm not saying he was, but the local radio station here was, basically condemning him, saying, he was nothing much more. They wasn't saying he was a paedophile, but not a lot more. He was basically a sort of sex pest.
Well, fuck, if you had all those women in your pool, I'd be wanting to get off once in a while too, for fuck's sakes. He had like 56 women living in that mansion.
It was crazy.
Do you remember seeing those girls kicking and screaming, getting into that house? Like, no, I don't want to go here. I don't think so.
They were kicking and screaming, trying to beat down the door to get in.
Yeah,
exactly. And now they're all worried because they're going to be homeless.
Right. My favorite was like when Hugh Hefner would marry one of them, like in quotes, marry one of them. And whatever Entertainment Tonight or whatever would interview them. Oh, I love him so much. He's the love of my. No, he's not. You love his money. Shut up, you bitch.
Yeah. Wrinkly old bastard. He has been for 35 years.
Right. Oh, I love 85-year-old Hugh Hefner so much with all my heart. Oh, you don't. You love his money.
Yeah.
I wonder if at 85, I mean, the guy lived to 91, so he lived a good, ripe life, right? I wonder if he was still fucking when he was 70.
I reckon. Oh, easily. Yeah.
I sure hope I am.
He was fucking up until almost to the end, I would imagine. If
I can fuck when I'm 91, oh my God.
Yeah. Would you want to, though?
I won't. Well, it depends
on
what.
I think I'll just sit there and touch him. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'd have the energy.
But wait a minute. You know, our partners are going to grow old and graceful with us, and we love them for all they've done for us, and they've reared our children, and they've supported us along the way. And I know where you're coming, but Hugh is with a 28 or a 29-year-old woman. Who has had breast injections and probably had her pussy tightened a few times. And at 91, I think I could arise to that.
But I'm just thinking at 91, even if being Hugh Hefner at 91, you're just tired. You're just kind of past it. Just leave me alone.
And also,
let me be.
That guy has seen so much, in quotations, like pussy. He's seen so much.
Don't insult anybody.
No, I don't want to insult anyone. But he's seen so much that it's just like, maybe that guy, he's got steak every day. He just fancies a greasy burger every now and again. And that guy just wants some woman that's let herself go. Don't you think that?
What are you doing, Stuart? Are you comparing him to Janis Joplin?
What?
Well, Janis Joplin used to go and have sex with like bums on the street or something.
Yeah, but wouldn't you? I mean,
no, I would take the clean, well-shaven Brazilian wax.
No, I don't think you would. I don't think you
want to go with some smelly pig that has fucking lupus.
No, even I'll tell you what. Even when I went out with this 21-year-old girl, she had tits to die for, a washboard stomach, absolutely everything you want, yeah. But and a smile that not you're dead. But after a while, you just think, do you know what? I fancy a burger.
You think
I fancy a greasy burger.
What? I want the 400-pound ditch pig that smells like a fish. That was.
I see where he's coming from. I wouldn't say he's going to that extreme, but
no,
like Hugh Hefner, all of those girls, especially like coming up through the 80s and 90s and all of those girls had plastic tits and injections in their lips and ass lifts and all of this. And you have that every single day for your entire life. Eventually you're going to want a little change maybe once.
And can you imagine
you kind of go in the opposite direction to like just a normal girl, not one that's all plastic and all of this. And,
can you imagine that you imagine that someone walks off the bus into his place and she's just like whether she's a brunette, ginger, natural blonde, or whatever, and she walks in the place and she needs a minimal makeup. She's absolutely stunning naturally. That's what you want.
Look, I always told my wife, I'm gonna be weak for a minute now, but the one thing I always liked about my wife is, sure, she puts a little makeup on now and then, but she looks in the morning like she did when she went to bed, and so I know what I'm getting. I'm not gonna wake up in the morning, wah! No.
You are batting a bit above your league there when it comes to Melissa, DK.
Listen, I've never claimed that it was in my league, but you know what? Whatever I did, I fished properly. I used the right lure, and she is mine.
You need to keep maintaining that because, man, you're batting above your league.
And I appreciate that. You know what?
No, DK has got a catch there.
And she's okay, but she may just be a redhead. She may be secretly dyeing her hair on me because she is a fiery young lady.
Where my wife is growing old with dignity.
I look, as much as we laugh and joke, I love my wife more than anything because she might just be listening. And I really don't want to sleep in the truck tonight because the truck got sprayed by a skunk along with the dog. Anyway, but there was another. I guess he may not be a star, but he was a star to us. I brought up an article, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you, and I also have a show clip. Back in 2015, those of you who have longtime listeners will know, will post the show link so you can go back and listen to more of the show. But there was a what would you call it? Like a mascot, like a stuffed dolphin.
Yep.
With a dildo strapped to the outside of him. And he was Fappy, the anti-masturbation dolphin. And we'll
Praise
listen to
Fappy.
this. Fappy. Praise Fappy. Double praise. Anyway, Paul Horner was his name. Even when he was on the show, he went under Dave Myers, I believe it was, as the keeper of Fappy. But we became friends. I think this is before Stu was even on the show. This is back in 2015. But Paul was well known as a writer of fake news, especially in the 2016 election. He was on CNN. He was on Fox News, probably on Entertainment Tonight. Who knows what else he was on? And I sent this article to the boys today, and I said, "Is this real, Big B? Is this New York Daily News a real paper?" Because the stories we cover sometimes are utterly bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I saw it on CBS News. So the headline reads, Paul Horner, writer of fake news about the 2016 election, dead at 38. And they simply say, out of Phoenix, which is where he lived, a leading purveyor of fake news in the 2016 presidential election has died outside Phoenix at the age of 38. They have no ideas. They're saying there's no signs of foul play, but he did have a history, apparently, of prescription drug abuse. And evidence at the scene did suggest it could be an accidental overdose. But he was known for writing false stories, disseminating the internet hoaxes. They went viral on Facebook. And this is before people started catching on to the fake news. Remember, we used to have that segment, is it real or is it fake? But the two big ones that he was well known for, and he was on with, who's the faggot on CNN?
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper, thank you. Is he called President Obama gay? And somehow he called him a radical Muslim. And then he had another one that said protesters were being paid thousands of dollars to demonstrate at Donald Trump's campaign rallies. And he was if you Google him, Paul Horner, you'll see. But how he got our attention was Fappy, the anti-masturbation dolphin. And when we got wind of this, we just had to have him on the show. So he was on with us for quite a while during that show, but I'm going to throw up a pic of Fappy here. I'm going to play you a little clip of when he was on with Big B and I. The air date of that, folks, was actually around Thanksgiving at your time, Big B, 11/25/2015. And the name of the show was Praise Fappy While Ringing the Devil's Doorbell. So let's check this
out. Well, there's hell, as you're pretty much all going to, if you've ever taken a shower without your clothes on. What's so funny?
How do you clean yourself without fucking taking your clothes off?
What do you mean? Don't you have a swim trunks?
Yeah, but you still got to wash the underneath there.
No, let's not get dirty here. Let's not talk about it.
I'm not getting dirty, but what about the other end where you poop?
Anyway, what was definitely if you've used the restroom. So pretty much, except girls don't defecate, but most guys do. So they're all going to hell. Now there's another level of hell, which is obviously double hell that we all know about. And that is if you decide to basically use the restroom, shower without your clothes on, and masturbate. You could almost be looking at triple hell. Actually, there's different layers and levels
it's a compounding thing then, right? So number one,
yeah,
you're going to hell because you took your clothes off. Number two,
yeah,
you're going to double hell.
yeah. Now it does go as far as quadruple hell, but that's reserved for very like Snooki or Tyler Perry, pretty much.
Okay. Snooki.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to be in quadruple hell, but so we just say double hell.
And Tyler Perry, that truly is hell.
Anything with Snooki is quadruple hell.
Exactly.
So you definitely don't want to be in places with Tyler Perry and Snooki. So I mean, that's like, why would you masturbate if you know that you're gonna have you have to eternally hang out with Tyler Perry and Snooki, and you guys are laughing about masturbating like it's a fun, like, hey, I'm gonna play with my sin stick and then hang out with Tyler Perry and Snooki for eternity. Like, that's horrible. That sounds, if that sounds like a good time to use, then enjoy eternity with Tyler Perry and Snooki, because it doesn't sound fun to me.
All right, now listen, Dave.
I just want to back up a little bit.
Okay.
So you said even going to the restroom, you can go to hell. Isn't that a natural bodily function?
I've read the Bible. Well, I'm a good Christian, and so I've never really read the Bible. But what's so funny?
Well,
anyway,
you probably he just kept saying to us, "What's so funny?"
I forgot about double hell.
Yeah, double hell, and don't remember when he talked about the girls. It was ringing the devil's doorbell.
That's right, ringing the devil's doorbell.
I did love that.
All right, people. I just want to throw in a side note. He also was very well known that, and I'm sure it was some kind of a joke, but he actually did this. Is he gave away socks to homeless people. He legitimately did that, which, you know what, as a homeless person, you probably appreciate.
Sure.
Stocks. But that we'll post the link. He was a lot of fun. He was playing under the pseudonym of Dave Myers, and he told us that Fappy couldn't come on because he couldn't speak. But it was
wasn't he busy with children in the back room or something like that?
Yes. You have to. Yeah, I didn't get that clip. Yeah, that's right. Fappy is in the back room with the kids, meaning he was. What does Stu call them? A pedophile.
A pedophile.
Pedophile.
Yeah, not pedophile. Pedophile.
Such proper English coming out of you, Stu.
Well, Stu is a proper English gentleman.
Anyway, R.I.P. Paul Horner. It's just weird when you have someone on the show and then.
That's good. I don't know if I was even on the show then, but I remember listening to that one anyway. It's very good.
You were doing your under the bridge pedophile things.
We're going to be returning to Under the Bridge actually very soon, I'm sure.
Well, the wife is not allowing you to.
Well, I've been warned.
No, in the chat room, they are saying so. Overdose is like suicide, so he's in hell as we speak. He is ringing the devil's door.
Double hell.
Yeah, he's in double hell. Praise Fappy, by the way, folks.
Double praise. Praise
double
Fappy.
Praise. Double praise. All right, before we go to what Big B was posting in the Cave Crew Facebook group, folks, I know everyone's been waiting. Stu, there was a general election at the allotment this week, and I know you've got some stories about the treasurer, and then there's a little bit of dissension going on. Take it away, Stu.
Well, there was what I thought was a general election. It wasn't really a general election. It was an election to elect. We've already got a chairman. And there's a treasurer, but they wanted to elect people of what do they call it now? I can't even remember what they call it.
The committee?
The committee, that's the word. Sorry. it escaped me there. So they wanted to elect new members of the committee, and it was already sort of it was already done beforehand, really, because the guy that was running I'm a friend of his over at the allotment, and he's the guy that has the food truck shed. So if you want to go and have a cup of coffee and a sandwich or something, you go and sit outside his place, and his wife will come and sort you out. So
his wife will sort you out.
So so anyway, it was between me and the wife that would go, because we had like my son's football on the Sunday morning when the election was happening. And even if you're a member of the allotment, you can't vote by post or fill in a form before you go. If you're not there, you can't vote. So that cancels out sort of the majority of the people there, really. So my wife decided it would be best that she went, because she knows that I can't really keep my mouth shut if I hear something that's wrong. And apparently sort of a lot of hell broke loose there. And but the guy that wanted, well, one of the guys that run for election was the mental guy that's next door to me. And he was seen marching up and down on the top of his shed.
You got to instruct your wife to get video and pictures of this shit.
But he was seen, I was only told today, he said, and that guy, he had the cheek to run for election as a committee member who's meant to be representing the people and, bringing their points of view across. And he was seen marching up and down on top of his shed for no apparent reason.
Was he chanting anything? Was he?
No, I don't think so. He was just sort of marching up and down. And a few days before, he was seen wearing one of these dark black leather full-length coats with dark sunglasses, sort of up and down a high street. But
was he from Hellraiser? Like what kind of
something like that? It was definitely from like a character from a movie. But that aside, so the guy, there was a lot of shit happening apparently in there. But the guy who's actually the treasurer of 4 different allotment places, so he had a go at people there. It's not like your traditional elections where it's sort of like, all set out. And anyway, this guy, he had asked, he'd had a go at a load of people about how they sort of run their plots and how it should be and shouldn't be. But this guy is like absolute mental of the first degree. All he does on his plot is just pile horse manure. Whenever it comes, he turns up at the allotment between about 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And I've seen him at about 8:30 a.m. And he just goes and gets a wheelbarrow and just keeps putting just like pile after pile of horse manure on his plot. So literally half of his plot, is covered with manure. And it's like 2 foot above ground level.
Just shit. And you're right beside this guy.
Yeah, I'm right beside him. And he doesn't grow anything. I think he grows stuff just by default, that whoever was there before him. And I think it was his father that had the allotment plot for 30 years. And he's now had it for 20 years. But the guy, I've had enough. Because if I was there when he had said, like, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you should be keeping your allotment plot clean and tidy and neat and, looking good, I would have just stopped the thing and just said, right, let's go and have a look at your plot and see how it should look. But anyway,
this guy's the treasurer.
He's the treasurer. But listen, the right man got elected, and what his first priority is to put to the committee is that cycling should not be banned along the pathways to get to your plot. Because you know what? Allotment growers are like, allotment holders, they're hellraisers when it comes to cycling. They dash up and down that path and try and knock people off the path there. So one of the rules of the allotment is that you can't cycle along the path.
No bicycles, none of those, not even the ones that fold in half.
No, and the only two people I know that cycle along there is my wife and One Tooth Jim. And
One Tooth Jim?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You have to explain One Tooth Jim.
One Tooth Jim has been my buddy for probably a couple of months now. And the last time we had a delivery of the black stuff, I happened to go like a different route on the way back to my plot, and I went past this fella who was tending his plot, and I just stopped and I went, "You all right, mate? How you doing?" And oh yeah, brilliant. And the guy can talk for England. He chats and chats, and this isn't even really my plot; it's my son's, and I love it, and it's amazing how all this fruit and veg grows, and it's brilliant. And then we started talking about music, right? And it turned out we was going to the same gig and the place where we was going holds about 50 people. And we was going to the same gig in about like 2 weeks later or something, and a week later. So ever since then, we met, obviously, going to this gig as well. And we had a few beers. And he actually sits at the food truck and drinks and eats and stuff like that. So we've been like, I wouldn't say
does this guy charge for food, or does he just fucking like? Is this a legitimate food truck like what we have in North America here, or is this guy like the wife's just fucking baking crumpets and?
Yeah, it's just they're very hospitable people, and they've got the creme de la creme of sheds, and they actually bought this shed off of eBay, and it's got like a fold down counter. And it's still got the blackboard on there which says like apple pie, lemon meringue pie, bacon sandwich and stuff like that. And they've kept it all on there. So
do they write on it? Do they say today's,
No, they don't. No, they've kept all the old stuff, and they just make a few tea, and they don't advertise it. It's just people they know, and go around there. Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like coffee? We've got.
I want to get an all-inclusive vacation. I will stay in one of the sheds. We want a plot, Stu.
But I went there this morning about 11:30 a.m. this morning, and just to go and get a load of manure because I knew there was a delivery coming.
Why don't you just steal from your neighbor?
Why
don't you just take your neighbors?
Well, That came up in conversation today. I said we should just go and all help ourselves from there. I turned up there this morning and saw there was no delivery, and I thought, oh well, I'll just park up anyway. And then I saw One Tooth Jim and all the others there sitting around having coffee. I joined them. We sat there for about an hour, and then they said, "Oh, there's a newcomer that's having a shed delivered. We should go and help him carry it to his plot." So we helped him carry it to his plot. Then we all put the shed up together, and then we went back for a coffee. Then I went home, and just as I was leaving, all the manure turned up. So I had to go back later on to get my 6 barrels that I'm allowed, 6 wheelbarrow fulls.
Yeah, and you know what? When you tell these stories, I just want to sing "What the World Needs Now Is We Love." I mean, it's fucking, it's like Shangri-La.
Well, did you notice in the story there's a newcomer at the allotment who has a brand new plot and a shed, but nothing about our allotment.
Yeah, no, nothing. No one took a knee. No one took a knee while they were building the shed. Everyone participated, and then they all went back to Big Mama's or whatever it is at the food truck and had a cup of tea and probably some shots of bourbon and had a great old. People have bucket lists. Some people want to climb Mount Everest. Some people want to get to Mars someday. Some people want to visit Paris. I just want to go to the allotment. That's all I ever want to do.
I absolutely want to make a trip to London, see Stu, and go to the allotment.
Next week, yes. I'm on the burning committee. I'm on the burning patrol. So what we got to do, we meet up about 11 a.m. and we go around collecting wood and stuff like that, anything that burns that people have left out, and we can have a little bonfire and probably throw a few potatoes on the fire. And I'm going to get some beers, and I think One Tooth Jim will bring some beers.
Maybe he'll play the guitar.
Maybe. And I'm hoping to get some video of
Why
that.
can you not Facebook Live this for us? There's got to be Wi-Fi.
Next week, I've changed my phone supplier, so I'm on a better deal. I've got more data and stuff like that. So I'm hoping next week will be the week. Look out for the allotment special next week.
I didn't get a chance to shout out because he's now left the chat room, but Jerry Badcop was in the chat for a while.
Oh, brilliant. I sent him a message earlier.
Yeah, a big shout out to Bad Cop Show. But I'm very serious about this before we move on. And Big B and I have told you we will commit. And if this guy can get away with just piles of manure, who cares what's growing on our plot?
Yeah.
Because we are going to get there eventually. And we're going to need help building our shed. And we will become part of the burning committee. And we will invite everyone to our plot. And we will eat the fruits of our land. It can't be that expensive, Stu. We're not kidding you about this. We really, really want a Cave Crew plot.
We're actually dedicating a plot for the show. And we will grow. We will grow what the station says, what Cave Crew Radio says.
Well, you're more acclimatized.
We've got a 6x4. We've got a 6x4 plot. Maybe 7x4 plot, specially dedicated to Cave Crew Radio.
Oh, do we have a pathway?
You've got a pathway, you've got grass running alongside, so that will need to be mowed. There's all sorts of maintenance going to be needed. There's going to be black stuff needed through the winter to vitalize the stuff. It's going to need rotavating before the season starts. There's lots of work. And lots of money needs energizing into it.
Well, we will fund it. Big B and I have already committed.
Absolutely.
And I can assure you, none of that money that's generated will be creamed off for my own benefit.
If you help us, you are more than welcome to eat the fruits of our labor. As long as you send us a little, send us a little package in dry ice or something. And
definitely. I'll bring it. If the bloody customs weren't too bad as they are in New York, but
if this plot is real, this 6x4 or 7x4 plot, if it's actually ours, what I want is a picture of it, and I want a little vial of dirt from it.
Yes.
So I can display it here in my studio and say this is the Cave Crew allotment.
Yes. That's all I want to. If it's black stuff, just put a cork on top of it.
That's right.
I'll send you both a little a plastic cup of from your plot.
Yes, we will cherish it more than our autographed limited edition Choo Choo Stu mugs. You don't understand, and it's not just us, Stu. The listeners, you follow the social media threads, people private. When are you guys talking about the allotment?
What I must say is that the Cave Crew plot at the moment is 8 inches thick with manure on the surface. Fine.
We're full of shit too.
It's fitting.
So that's going to be there until until before springtime, I suppose. I don't know.
And again, I'm going to ask you this, Big B, because we have one more thing to cover off here. But is there any preference of anything you want to grow? Because I really have no preference. I'd like some, some cucumbers or some tomatoes or scallion. Always.
It depends on what can grow in that region of the world. I have no preference. Whatever you can grow it.
And maybe you can just grow the onions, although you say they're banned.
We could do I mean, Cave Crew pumpkin.
Sure. The biggest
I like
pumpkin
that.
in the world.
That's it. Pumpkin
Just grow one pumpkin and let that fucker go.
Gigantic.
We'll do that.
And not only will we finally have our allotment, we will have a Guinness World Record.
I love it.
So that's all you got to do, Stu, is get us one seed, one pumpkin seed. Take care of that with the black stuff and a little bit of water, and have everybody come around and sing Kumbaya or whatever the fuck you do, and make our pumpkin grow.
But we'll do that. We'll do that next week. We're gonna have a bit of kumbaya next week with the fire, with the potatoes, with a lot of the committee members. It's gonna be great fun. One Tooth Jim was meant to be on the show. He was going to come on the show at some stage. I told him it's 2 a.m. He said, "Yeah, no problem." And the next week when I said to him, he said, "No, it's 2 a.m." And I said, "Yeah, that's what I told you." You know, but
well, tell him to get some sleep one day. We need to have One Tooth Jim on this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's
because
good.
We always get your opinion of everything that goes on at the allotment, and it would be interesting. If not One Tooth Jim, what about the guy jumping on his shed? He's crazy enough to do that.
Lunatic. No.
Well, we're lunatics. Like, get him on the show. He'll fit in good around here.
No. It's sort of some kind of Asperger's or something like that. I'm not sure what it is, but
Asperger's?
Yeah. I think he's got Asperger's or something like that. I don't know.
It would be Asperger's.
Asperger's, Asperger's or something. Yeah, he's totally.
We're running out of time. I want to squeeze in 2 or 3 really quick stories here. Thanks to Big B, he's brought us back to it again. It's time for
Everyone from Florida is stupid. Everyone from Florida is dumb. I might not be the brightest guy, but next to them my IQ's high. If they had guitars, here's how they strum.
Always a favorite. We haven't done it for a while. I bring you up to the cam here. Let me make sure I got the right one up before we go to the story. And this is the young lady. And these stories are actually very close. I don't know if you just stumbled on them or what. Do you have them queued up, or shall I read?
Oh, I do not have them queued up. I was going to say, I follow Investigation Discovery, the ID channel. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No.
It's basically all about crimes and murder and all of this stuff. So I follow them on Facebook, and every now and then they have the crime feed. So they'll post stories of either odd crimes or horrific newsworthy crimes, stuff like that. So this week was some odd crimes, and that's where I grabbed them and posted them to the Cave Crew Facebook page.
Cave Crew Radio Facebook page. Great place to hang out when we're not on there, folks. So the headline for this one, this is the first one, and I've got it queued up for those of you on YouTube watching on video. Woman hides crack pipe in vagina, tells cop she's storing it for a friend. Love this headline. It's not mine, I swear, is almost always an eye-rolling worthy excuse. But that's especially true when it's given to cops who find drugs or other contraband in a perp's vagina. Tiffany Flores, 23, is either an exceptionally generous friend or just a bad liar, because that's the claim she made when cops discovered a crack pipe in her choka last week. According to the smoking gun, it's all started with a routine traffic stop in Fellsmere, Florida. Of course, when Flores, who was a passenger in the vehicle, admitted to owning a small bag of cocaine found lying next to her side in the car. Police brought her down to the station, where she told the officers she couldn't go through the full body scanner because she was pregnant. When a pregnancy test came back negative, now this is when you should be drawing your red flags, Big B, and saying, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
How did she pee without that falling out of her vagina?
Well, That is a good question.
I thought
don't
so.
know.
So anyway, the pregnancy test came back negative, and the authorities insisted on putting her through a scanner, and lo and behold, they discovered the only thing she was carrying in her cooter was a crack pipe. Oh, Florida.
Did she smoke it from her vagina?
You know,
like these girls that sort of stick out, pop out these ping pong balls.
I've never seen that video, Stu.
Well, there's plenty available, but
I've seen
I
it.
wonder whether she just like sucks in the crack, and maybe it's like a crack pipe.
Well, you know, and this is getting a little off topic, but there are people that say that, you know, we've talked about butt chugging and various things on the show. And when you ingest drugs or alcohol or whatever it is you're ingesting, sometimes it's quicker to go through an eyelid or a butt or obviously a vagina.
Well, I want to know. Obviously, she's not holding it for a friend, but let's say she was. What kind of friend would actually take the crack pipe back and use it? I know you know, crackheads, but isn't there some form of standard that, you know, it's up your vagina? I kind of don't want it now.
Yeah, I think now.
Listen, if you're on crack, I would imagine that if you need crack, you don't care where it's.
You don't care, huh?
You don't care what crack it's been up.
All right. I can see that.
And if it's a boyfriend, it definitely wouldn't mind. But
I can see that. All right.
Why would you put it there in the first place? But
All right, on to story number 2, because I actually want to get to the third story, because I love this third one. But Florida woman gets arrested, shoves ID inside vagina, pees in public. Let's see if I got a picture of this one.
Good old Florida never ceases to.
You're going to see Fappy for a minute, but I do have a picture of this young lady here. Hang on.
Florida always brings the best stories.
There she is. Isn't she a lovely looking thing?
I don't see her. There she is. That's nice.
So police arrested Takara Lasha Nadoon, 28 of Miami, Florida, this past Saturday following a hit and run incident. A routine background check alerted officers that Nadine had an active warrant out for operating a vehicle without a license, so they arrested her. After Nadine was taken into custody, she revealed that she was indeed carrying identification, but she had shoved it up her vagina. Fuck these women. Authorities took Nadine into a nearby hospital where a body scan revealed that, yes, she had told them the truth. While being transported back to jail, Nadine then exposed her private area while urinating in public.
That's nice.
She appeared in court on Monday. The warrant for operating a vehicle without a license was dropped, but now she is charged with exposing her sex organs in public.
She's a keeper.
Now, here is another one of my favorite stories of the week. Again, give me a second.
If you give me a second on that, because
absolutely,
these women, like, beside the tattoo on her neck, forget that. She's not a bad-looking bird, I suppose. You know, not bad. But whatever obsesses people to shave their eyebrows off and then draw them back on, it's just like, I've got this fantastic idea. I think I'm going to just shave them off and draw them back on so they look fake.
Yeah, I don't need them.
I've always got the same expression on my face.
You know, off topic again, we have this guy in our neighborhood. I think he's a few blocks away, thank God. And he has gray hair, yet he dyes his eyebrows and his mustache black.
Yeah.
And the kids call him Hitler.
Like, this is natural.
Listen, you want to dye your eyebrows and your mustache? No fucking problem. What about your hair?
There's some great if you look up if you Google like just bad eyebrows or bad eyebrow drawings or whatever, you'll see chicks that again have shaved their eyebrows, but they draw like it's all lightning bolt. It looks like the fucking stock market going up and down on their fucking eyebrows.
Why would you want
They got
to
the
do
permanently surprised look.
You was born with eyebrows, yeah? Trim them up if you need to, yeah? Have a little shave if you got the odd fucking hair growing out. But otherwise, it's natural. Just keep your eyebrows. We've all got them. Yeah?
It's okay. It's just like we all have hair on our ass too. It's
fuck's sake.
All right. Well, one last story. Bring because I really like this one. And wait till you see this darling couple.
Oh no.
There they are.
Ah, look at them.
I don't think this is from Florida, but porn couple
drugs involved.
But most likely, look at her.
You think?
And this is because I read this story, Stu. This is what I refer to when you say Hugh Hefner needs a change. No, I would never
decide whether to shave her eyebrows or paint new ones. So she kept the old ones and put
new ones on top of it.
Porn couple busted for filming X-rated movies inside a Burger King. A Randy couple are facing jail for allegedly making a series, not just one, a series of explicit porno videos. One of them inside of a Burger King.
It's like a Mile High Club for Burger King.
Police in Louisiana say they discovered images which suggest the pair filmed graphic scenes inside a public library, a supermarket, and the popular fast food restaurant. And this could apparently lead to a jail term. I can't even read any more of the story. Apparently,
can you imagine anything less erotic than a bedroom of doing anything sensual to that lady?
Well, this guy has to be another drug user. But apparently it's her husband. His name's Rex and her name's Elizabeth. They've apparently made over 160 explicit videos.
Really?
The Pornhub videos, so Pornhub is a popular spot, seem to show the wife exposing herself and masturbating inside various businesses, in Southland Mall in Houma, including a Burger King.
Nice.
There you have it, folks. We haven't got to weird news for a while.
Well, there was.
What do you imagine she was doing in like a supermarket?
Fucking gross. And like you wonder why Hugh Hefner wants to stick with the bunnies.
Well, there was one thing that went around the other day. I saw it briefly, where this couple was arrested because they were having sex while ordering Domino's. Like literally at the counter, they showed a still from the security camera, and you see the chick up front ordering, and the guy's like right behind her, and I guess he's doing her from behind, but yeah, as they're ordering Domino's, they're having sex.
Can you not wait till you get home? Like, get a room.
I don't know.
Get a fucking room. Like,
I don't know. Maybe the smell of pizza sauce turns her on. I don't know.
And I think it's like something to do with like some kind of voyeurism or something. Yeah. You just need that. It's almost like a drug user or an adrenaline junkie, or you need that next high.
Right.
And we fucked everywhere else. Let's do it at Domino's.
Yeah. Yeah, that has to be it. It's just the thrill of being out in public, and I might get caught, and that has to be it.
Because
I've done it in some sort of like, to me, unusual places along the canal path, in a cemetery, and on the golf course. They're my three not claims to fame, but they're my three places. And once I was caught by my dad on the golf course, almost.
I remember that story. Actually,
Yeah, but
did it on air.
But nothing is ever, hey, why don't we do it why don't we do it in McDonald's tonight? Because there's a fine line between erotic and perverse, I suppose.
You see, with me, it's like, yeah, this is getting to be a drag. Why don't you get on top?
Yeah.
We're always in the same fucking place. Me too. I've done it in fields and on beaches, and you go camping and shit like that when you're younger. But I've never ever once done it in a public place.
Well, not by ordering your meal.
No, if I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna eat, and then I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God. But I mean, and then again, you look at these pictures. What else do you have to live for?
DK, we're so vanilla.
Oh, I'm very vanilla. According to these stories that we report every week, I know I'm not going to double hell. I ain't even going to single hell. I ain't even ringing the devil's doorbell.
Do you touch your sin stick?
Oh, shit. We're in the shower together. This is really cool. We're still in our fucking house. It's really cool when we go away on vacation and we're in a motel and there's no kid. Next time I'm going to tell her I want to do it in Vegas inside the casino when someone wins the jackpot. Oh, fuck. We do live boring lives. Bus rides, allotments. And I don't have much else on either.
The allotment's on my list. The allotment is my Mile High Club at the moment. But,
you should, and listen, and your wife is a beautiful lady, and I don't want you to cheat on her, but you should do it on top of the shed. And light off fireworks, like light off Roman candles when you're about to hit it.
Are you kidding me? Stu would do it on top of the black stuff.
Yeah,
Stu would. And there's a lonely lady on plot 18 that I've had my eye on, and I think she's on fucking beta blockers or something like that. I'm not sure what she's on.
All these people, one has Asperger's. Now, listen, Big B, we might want to look at another allotment spot because she's on beta blockers. The one guy's got Asperger's. I don't know if we're in the best company. No wonder they don't want bikes riding down. These people are probably stumbling down the path. Anyway, guys, it's about that time. We all have things to do tomorrow. We need to name the show. So, chat room, I'm giving you notice. We do have a few out there already. Praise Fappy on top of his shed. What did Jerry say? Double hell or triple hell? They still like Praise Fappy on top of his shed. Who should we go? Let's go to Stu first. He's never prepared. I'm not really prepared for this, but
well, how about we do bar black stuff?
Oh, I like that. Bar black stuff.
Just to sort of cover a couple of genres there. We've also got When in Rome I've got here as well.
Yeah, that's not bad either. I personally have R.I.P. Dolphin buried in the black stuff, which isn't very good. I won last week, so Big B.
I have two. I had one that I wrote down a while ago, but one that just came up. So the first one I have is One Tooth Jim and the Horse Manure Election.
What's the second?
The second one.
I would love to show that to Jim.
Yeah. That's got my vote hands down. Apologies to everybody, but what was that again? One Tooth Jim.
One Tooth Jim and the horse manure election.
Which sums up just about everything. Okay.
The other one I had was just what Stu just said. The Lonely Lady on Plot 18.
That's good too. I gotta write all these down. The Lonely Lady on Plot 18. I'm gonna narrow it down to Big B tonight if there's no objections. Stu, do you have an objection?
I've no objection.
All right, so we're going to go, folks, and I need, if you want to vote in the chat, you have a few minutes. I know you're on delay. Your choices are The Lonely Lady on Plot 18. I'm starting to really like that one. And the second one is One Tooth Jim and the Horse Manure Election. Big B, which one would you choose between your two? I remember these draw people in to listen to the show, right?
I think to get people in, the One Tooth Jim and the horse manure election would probably get more people curious, at least, about the show.
I'm gonna throw before we do anything, before we go to any more votes. I'm gonna throw. I really like the Lonely Lady at Plot 18.
We could go with that. That's fine.
So we got Stu. Oh, wait a minute. We got One Tooth Jim in the chat. So we're now. You could either tie it, Stu, or you could throw it over the edge here. It's the Lonely Lady from Plot 18, which I just love the sound of that. That would be a great heavy metal song, or a great song for you to do, Stu, on the ukulele.
It's great.
Or One Tooth Jim and the Horse Manure Election. They're both great.
Now we go for One Tooth Jim and the Horse Manure Election.
There you go, folks. It's One Tooth Jim and the Horse Manure Election. Big B definitely at the top of his game tonight. All right. Hopefully a return of Metal Thunder Radio next week.
We'll be back. We'll be hanging with the guys from Through the Discipline. It's a band here in New York. They just came out with a new EP, so we'll be playing that and hanging and talking with those guys.
And that is, of course, folks, Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on cavecrewradio.com.
Yep.
And Stu, I know you got nothing going except for the fucking allotment, but get us some minutes, get us some stuff. Anything else you want to report before we jump out? I notice he's got his Canadian drinking cap on, by the way.
I want to know what picture Stu is sending us. Is this the horse manure guy?
Yeah, it's One Tooth Jim.
Oh, that's One Tooth Jim.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
We have pictures of One Tooth Jim to go along with the title.
All right, we will definitely get. Holy shit! That will definitely be in the show notes, folks, and on Twitter and Facebook.
And he's tiny. When I stand next to Jim, I'm not particularly big, but when I stand next to Jim, I'm like a giant. I'm like a giant of men.
He's like a druid or something, like a gnome. And folks, I have nothing else in progress that I can speak about at this time. Strictly Cave Crew Radio for me at this moment. Always things in the works, always things in the talk.
I'm just pleased to say I have finally polished off this Scandinavian drink.
Valhalla, it's called.
And I've only ever drunk that on Cave Crew Radio, so it's like drinking medicine.
Wait, what is that? Wait, I wasn't paying attention. What is that? Hold on.
That's some kind of Scandinavian fucking moonshine.
Nice.
Yeah. So I finally, and it's like drinking medicine, except I've drunk it with some kind of orange, like Fanta or something, you know.
And baby, just now we don't have time. Do you have a rough count for us on the bourbon bottles? Because we are on pace for almost 2 a month. Folks, he's counting for those of you
12.
12. And we are in we're almost at the 10th month. So you guys got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, 12.
12. All right. All right, folks. You have been listening to One Tooth Jim and the Manure Election.
Horse manure election. Don't forget.
Horse manure election. Sorry. Yes, I do have that written down. The horse manure election. We will be back next Thursday. I do have a discrepancy, guys, on I believe it's the 19th of October, but you guys are more than welcome to do a show, or we can work something out. But we'll be back next week. We got to start doing Halloween shit, guys. It's going to be that month. We got to get like some weird urban legends or something. Anyway, kids, catch you next week. Thanks for listening. If you really love us, we're on Facebook, Cave Crew Radio, Twitter, Cave Crew Radio. And like Stu says, we always appreciate $5. Helps to pay for the allotment.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!